Howdy folks, welcome to a beautiful sunny Monday afternoon. I'm out here on the lookout point on the drive up to Cypress Mountain. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see, it's just you see the whole city of Vancouver. Stunning, stunning place. Anyway, I'm sitting here because my internet is down at home. It's been down since this morning, shore outage. There's a whole bunch of vehicles working on the cabling and everything, so hopefully they'll get it right. But that means I can't work, and I was sitting at home going, what am I going to do? And I thought, such a nice day, let me take a drive up to Cypress Mountain. Actually, I went down to the beach first, but I forgot my camera, so here I am. Anyway, today I want to talk about something that we get often when I comment about why we're here and what we're doing here, and I talk about crime and I talk about a number of things, as you know. But I often get comments from people going, yeah, but that happens somewhere else in the world as well. The other day I had somebody that said, I think I was talking about crime, and they were like, yeah, there's crime everywhere. People get murdered in Canada too. Which is true. I mean, the reality is that nowhere on earth is perfect. There's crime everywhere. Things go wrong everywhere. But the reality is that the crime rate, I saw the numbers actually this weekend. I think in Canada there's 2.41 or 2.43 people per 100,000 people that get touched by violent crime. In South Africa, that number is down significantly from a couple of years ago, but it's currently sitting at 34 point something, so 15 times more. So technically, when you're in South Africa, you are 15 times more likely to be touched by violent crime than in Canada. So yes, there's crime everywhere, but the reason we moved here is because there's less crime here. Another thing that I often get comments on, and sometimes, most of the time I delete them purely because they're generally not cool comments, is people commenting that, yeah, Canada is such a liberal country, and it's like, this whole political thing. And is it true? Yes, it is true. Canada is a very liberal country. I mean, it's the Liberals are in charge. Some things that we might not agree with, and I am with you there. Oftentimes me being a Generation Xer, a lot of the things that are happening in the world today, I don't understand. I don't see it because we didn't grow up with it. We didn't think about it, and I don't understand it. Does it mean I'm completely against it? No. What's the old saying? Follow the man who's searching for the truth and run from the one that has found it. People that are so committed and so 100% sure that they are right, they're generally the ones that are screwing it up completely, because they are completely closing themselves off to any other possibilities. Now I'm not like that. I'm always open to understanding and to listening. So anyway, so back to the point, Canada is a very liberal country. Yes. Do I agree with all the policies? No. Would I love to find a country in the world where I agree with all the policies? Yes. Is that likely? Never. I mean, I don't think there's a living person on earth that lives in a place where they agree with everything that's going on there. It is just the way it is. It's not humanly possible, for the simple reason that as humans, as soon as we have reached the comfort zone, we are going to start finding things that we're unhappy with. That's something that I often say to people around here and in the US when they tell me, oh, things are so bad, we're doing this, and police brutality, and all kinds of other things that they're complaining about. And I'm like, dude, you just don't understand it. You just don't get it. It is so different. When you live in a country where things are a lot worse, you start realizing that those problems that you are talking about is actually not that serious. Although for people in those situations it is. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that as humans, we will always not be happy where we are. We will always try and find an additional, something else. And that's just the way we are. So back to the question, am I happy with all the policies here? No, I'm not. I think there's some things that should be done better. But overall, do I feel safe? Yes, I feel very safe. This is a safe country. I feel like I can drive around, I can leave my house open, I can have my kids walk around on their own. I can sit out here with a camera on my own or in a touristy place and be safe. you know. Do I feel like there's a future here? Yes, I feel like there's a future here for my kids. I feel like when you live in Canada, you have the opportunity to go and study, and you have the opportunity to get hired based on your skill set and not because of any other reasons, you know, historical injustices or anything like that. Here, it's a melting pot. There's people from all over the world. Here, it's not a case of, oh, we have a quota, so many Asians, so many this or so many that. Here, it's like, hey, what's your skill set? Oh, you're good at this? Okay, cool. Let's hire you. And there's a lot of work. There's a lot of jobs. There's the ability to earn. Do I believe that there's a future for them, a better future for them here? Yes, because at the same, another point is that, man, there's just so much happening over here. This is the center of the financial world at the moment. Will it be forever? No, I don't know. You know, we were actually having a chat the other day, me and Belinda, about our passports. I mean, we are on a track to becoming citizens of Canada. That's our dream. Right now, our next step is get our work permits renewed. Then after our work permits are renewed, we need to get our permanent residency, which we will hopefully have in 2 years. And then I think it's 3 or 4 years that we have to live in Canada continuously on our permanent residency, and then we can become citizens. And that is our ultimate goal. We want to become citizens of Canada. But anyway, what we were chatting about is, what's the next? Are we going to give up our South African passports? Because South Africa, as far as I understand, you are allowed to have dual citizenship, and also in Canada, you just got to let them know. So the question was, are we going to give up our South African passports or not? Do we just let them lapse and that's over and now we are Canadian citizens? Or do we maintain dual citizenship? And my answer was, I think we should maintain dual citizenship because, you know, it's just another option. Who knows? Maybe one day the kids want to go back to South Africa. Maybe one day South Africa finds a government that actually realizes that safety and security is important. Africa is going to be a huge growth center in the future, I'm pretty sure, because Africa has got so much land mass. It's got the fastest population growth in the world. You know, there's a lot of skill, there's a lot of opportunity there. So yeah, maybe at some stage Africa will become a lucrative place and my kids would want to go back there, and I think it's worth keeping the South African passport so that they do have that option. I mean, options, that's what it's about. I mean, we don't have any options. We didn't have any options. As South Africans, we didn't have options because we only had the South African passport, and hence we have to go through all of this effort to try and get another passport and try and get another place. But anyway, so that's just, I think, some of the things that I hear often in the comments, people complaining about being a liberal country or there's crime everywhere. Of course, another one is people saying, yeah, it's all your mindset. I mean, that's just silly. Mindset. I don't feel safe in South Africa purely because I've had incidents where we were held at gunpoint and where bad stuff went down. I don't not feel safe because of my mindset. I don't feel safe because there's a real risk. What else is there? I guess that's the ones, you know. Oh, and then you've got also obviously some people saying, yeah, you're against South Africa or you hate South Africa. I think I've covered that more than enough. I love South Africa. South Africa is a great country. My family is in South Africa. My friends are in South Africa. South Africans are awesome. Most South Africans are awesome. Unfortunately, there's a small element that are going unchecked and that are doing whatever they please that's messing it up for everybody, unfortunately. And unfortunately, most of them are the politicians, you know. Having said that, though, politicians around the world are all the same. I mean, you just need to watch the Russian politics, you need to watch the American politics. Everywhere it's the same thing. Which, hopefully, I mean, on that one point, I see that there's currently quite a big swing in the world towards more, well, they call it right-wing, but more conservative politics. You know, I think Pierre Poilievre here in Canada, he stands a really good chance of taking out the Justin Trudeau government, because, you know, he focuses on some of the right things. He's actually looking at finances and the ability to make things work above all. You know, I guess that's what's happening with a lot of the Western governments, are that they're living up to these ideals. The hierarchy of needs, and when you get to a point where you have these ideals, you're trying to achieve better things. You don't care about food and security and stuff like that anymore. And I think a lot of these Western governments are living up to these ideals. They're trying to save the planet, and they're trying to save every minority, and they're trying to force people to be friendly and open to each other. And unfortunately, not all of those are sustainable. What do they say? That which is unsustainable cannot be sustained. You know, you're kicking stuff down the road. A lot of these, like shutting down and hammering the energy suppliers, the oil and gas suppliers. I mean, it's all fine and well that we want to move to a greener future, but you can't do it by shutting down electricity and energy to people. Anyway, that's a totally different point. Let's not get into that argument. What I'm trying to say is that I believe that Canada is on road to moving towards a more conservative government and a less liberal government, where people are actually going to look at the realities and the logic of the numbers, and not just about the dreams and ideals. Anyway, that's it. Hope all of this makes sense. You know, quite often in politics nothing makes sense. We all have our dreams, and we all have our ideas, and we all have our beliefs. That's what makes us human. We're all different. What makes us better is the ability to be able to acknowledge and accept other people's dreams and ideals. You know, sometimes our dreams and ideals don't align with other people, and sometimes it's a direct clash, and then it's a problem. But generally, we could live together very friendly and very happily, and that's something that I have found in Canada. You know, you have groups of people. You have the Chinese people together, the Persian people, the South Africans. There's groups of people everywhere. But the Indians, like, you know, they live in certain neighborhoods, and they part together. But it's not, how would I put it? What's the word? It's not like we are arguing or we are being nasty to each other. Everybody's friendly. It's like, you know, everybody makes it work, which is really awesome. And yes, we do have internet outages, and yes, we do have power outages, and yes, we do have crime, and yes, there are things that are not always brilliant, but at the end of the day, it is so much better than what we had, you know, and that's why we're here. All right, folks, have a good one. You all must have an absolutely beautiful day. I'm going to take a drive down and pick up the kids from school. Cheers.